probably 15 to 17 years ago. Um, and it was kind of shortly after GPSs had just come out. And my buddy, a good friend of mine, had gotten a GPS, and I was playing around and using his a little bit, and decided that it was definitely something that I was looking forward to or wanted to have in my equipment when I went to the mountains and went hunting and such. And so I'd gone to Gander Mountain and picked out a roughly $400 GPS. So anyway, we were up in the mountains, and my friend, who doesn't have a GPS, he would ask me, how high are we? Or, which direction from here is camp and how far is camp? And we were enjoying kind of playing with it a little bit, if you would, kind of like the new toy in the mountains. And I had a holster that this new GPS fit in right on my hip. And I always kept it kind of locked down or snapped down for the most part. And then I would pull it out to check different directions and different times. And it really seemed to be working well. Well, on about the third day, we had spotted a big bull that we wanted to go try to chase. So we got to where we thought we needed to be to go on up the trail and see if he was still there. And my buddy asked me again, what elevation are we at? And so on. I pulled out my GPS and went through all that. Evidently, I probably didn't snap it down or lock it into the holster like I had been. I just left it stuck in the holster without it snapped. So I hiked on up to where I thought I wanted to be, and so I sat there, and unfortunately no elk had come out. And I went back down the mountain, and pretty similar to the trail I thought of where I'd come, and got back to where the pickup was located. And I was going to show my friend how it tracked my trail the whole way. And I went to pick it out of its holster, and it was gone. And that was the first time I realized that I didn't have it anymore. So then all the things start running through my mind. When did I have it last? Where might I have lost it? Where might it have been? And I was had gone 1.5 miles from the pickup on this trail, and I knew about where I had gone, but I certainly did not know exact, because I was hunting and I was picking my way through the woods and through the rocks and trying to avoid slick spots. And so by now it's about dark. We had hunted until just at dark. And so we decided there was nothing we could do yet that night. So we left, and we would probably come back the next day or the day after when we came back over. Well, the next day we ended up hunting somewhere else. And even the following day we ended up hunting somewhere else. So it's 3 days later now, and all of a sudden we can tell that there's a big storm coming in. And so if we're going to find this GPS, we need to do it before it snows. So we drove about as fast as you can drive on the mountain roads back over to where we had parked the pickup before. And this time I just left my gun. I wanted to go as fast as I left my backpack, my gun. All I was doing was just trying, because the snow was coming and it was going to get dark very soon. And so I started ascending, trying to go back up to where I was. And it was hard to know exactly, did I go this way, did I go that way? And I was kind of picking my spots. But I was fairly certain that where I had sat, that it had probably worked its way out of the holster at that point, and I would find it right by where I was sitting. So I wasn't being too careful on the way up to find my same spots. Well, as you can probably guess, I got there, and it wasn't where I had sat. I looked around there for 4 or 5 minutes, and it wasn't. Well, now it's really starting to get dark, and the snow has started. And so the only thing I can think at this point where my GPS might have been was I remembered that I had slipped a couple times on the rocks going up there. And possibly where I had fallen, it may have gone out. And other than that, I just couldn't think of any other places it might have been. And now I'm getting pretty desperate. And I've got my flashlight out because it's starting to get dark, and I'm moving along at a fairly good pace, trying to figure out where I had walked before, what other hunters' footprints may be up there. You know, it's just really kind of a shot in the dark, literally, as it seems. And I'm looking all over, and I can't find it. And I can't even find the spots where I slipped and fell, and I thought I should be able to find those. I've looked now for probably 15, 20 minutes, maybe even as much as a half hour. And finally I just stopped. I don't know why, but we would say a prayer every morning for a safe hunt, and we would say a prayer at night with our meal together. But I just decided I need to pray and just let God know that, you know, I lost this and it's on me, and it's a monetary thing, and you know, you don't have to help me, God, but if you could, I would forever be grateful that just if you could help me find this, that would be amazing. And after I got through praying, I opened my eyes and I turned my flashlight back on. And I didn't take 2 steps, reached down in the snowbank and put my hand right down in the snow. Sure enough, I pulled it up. And I wondered, even being in the snow, you know, if it'd even work. I turned it right on, it powered right up, and just like that. And the heat, the warmth of the Holy Spirit just kind of came across me then, and I just thought, wow, what a powerful thing. So then I was able to share that night with my buddy that I was hunting with, and we didn't get an elk that year, but it sure was a powerful, fun trip. So God is around us all the time, and He'll help you with whatever you ask, even as small a thing as looking for a GPS. I went home from that experience and shared that with a friend of mine in our Bible study, and he just got the biggest smile because he had a similar experience of losing a hammer, his dad's hammer, when he was very little, and his dad was going to give him a spanking if he couldn't find that hammer, and he had looked and looked for hours and could not find it. And finally he knew about where, and he went back, and again he prayed, and God, just almost the same way, there was the hammer miraculously. So I would say that if there's little things in your life, and if you just give God a chance, and if you'll just ask Him and open up to Him, you're going to be surprised at the times that He reveals Himself to you.